BUSD garden, one of my favorite places to be. We got some plants growing. We got these seeds that are continuing to increase. And every time we are ready to plant, now this takes time. This is a place for the patient. If you are trying to get rich tomorrow, you might want to try something else. This is a long-term play. It's kind of a metaphor for life. It takes time to grow a beautiful garden. It takes time. So you got to take care of it each day. Continue to compound. Continue to press this button. Plant those seeds. Increase your plants. That is the name of the game. That is the goal. So let's get into some questions. Some questions that are asked all the time about the drip garden. I'm going to answer some of those for you and talk about some calculations that are essential if you are going to be a gardener in this drip BUSD garden. The first question that people ask all the time is, how many seeds equals one plant? That answer is 2,592,000 seeds. So if you have 2,592,000 seeds, that means you are ready to sow one plant. Now, this yellow bar here will tell you when you're ready to sow plants, and it will only light up completely when you have at least reached 2,592,000 seeds. As you can see, this number here, the seeds available, that continues to go up every minute, and it will increase because your plants are producing a certain amount of seeds every single minute. Now, as you see, this number here has gone up because I have 19 plants that are ready to be sown, and I'm moving toward 20 plants. And when I get to a certain number, I'm going to be ready to plant 20 plants. So let's find out what that number is. Let's go ahead and pull up the calculator here. So how many seeds do I need in order to sow 20 plants? So let's see, we'll take 2,592,000, and we're going to multiply that by 20. That's going to give us an answer of, what is this number here? That's a big number. 51,840,000 seeds. When I hit 5184, then I'm going to be ready to sow my 20. Well, this is a good way to know when you're getting ready to sow. Now, there's an even quicker way. There's a person named Luke Charters who put together this little app, drip.scan, and it's a pretty awesome tool. It does some calculations, a bunch of calculations for you. So shout out to Luke Charters, whoever that is. Pretty cool guy, in my opinion. You should make sure you have this. I'll put the link in the description below. Now all you have to do is take your address for your wallet. You go ahead and paste it here, and it pulls up all the information regarding your wallet. It shows me that I have 1,087. That's exactly what I have. And as we said, we were looking for that magic number here, 5184. All right, 51,840,000 seeds in order to get to 20. And it shows me that that is happening in just a minute. And when we reach that magic number, I'll be ready to sow those plants. So that brings us to the next question that people ask a lot is, how many seeds does a plant make? This is a number that you'll use all the time as well. Each of your plants, however many plants that you could have 1, 2, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever the number is, each of your plants is going to produce 86,400 seeds per day. So every single plant that you have in your garden is going to produce 86,400 seeds every single day. That's useful information to know. So you can calculate, if you have a certain amount of plants, how many seeds you're going to produce in a day total. I could take this number, multiply that by 86,400, and that'll tell me this number here. Let's see if that works out. 1,087 times 86,400. There you go. All right, so 86,400 seeds. Now, we just saw that this number lit up to 20. That means I have reached the 51,900,000 that I was looking for. So now I can go ahead and compound. This brings us to the next question. People ask all the time, how many plants per day do I increase when I compound one plant? All right, so this is a great question. What they want to know is this. So for each plant, you're going to produce a certain amount of seeds. Those seeds in turn will help you to produce more plants. The more plants that you have, the faster you produce more plants. So essentially, they're looking at this number here. I produce right now 36.233 plants per day. Every time I compound, this number is going to increase by a little bit. So the more it increases, the faster I can build my garden. That's what makes this garden pretty awesome. It takes time, but it's definitely well worth it. So one plant, every time you compound in the garden, one plant is going to increase this number by 0.033 per day. So that means I should see this number increase by, let's check out and see what that number is going to increase by. So I'm going to take 20 plants, I'm going to multiply that by 0.033, and I should see an increase of 0.66. So I should see this number increase to 36.899. if I add in this 0.66. Let's go ahead and check that out and see if that's correct. I'm going to sow these 20 plants, plant these or compound these plants. Go ahead and confirm. It'll take a second to update, but it's always a good feeling to see it happen and see those plants get added into it. So now we're up over 1,100 plants. Already got some seeds available, and every minute it just keeps increasing and increasing. All right, so that was successful. Let's go back to this app here, the drip scan, 36.899, and obviously it rounded that number up. So I'm going to produce from now on 36.9 plants per day, almost at 37. All right, I'm looking forward to getting to the magic number of 50. So that'll be coming pretty soon in the next several days. The reason why I mentioned that you got to be patient with this, because I think I started out with 150 plants or so, maybe 200 plants, and I just compounded every day. I just kept at it every day. Once I got to about 500 or so, it started really picking up steam. And now that I'm up at 1,000, it's really starting to move very, very quickly. So if you're patient with this, your garden can grow very, very fast. And at this rate, I'll be at 10,000 plants in just a few months. The compounding really starts to pick up steam if you're patient and persistent. All right, another question that people ask is related to the last question. How many plants do you need to sow, or how many times you need to compound in order to increase your plants per day by 1? Let's say I have 25 plants in my garden, and I wanna know how long it's going to take for me to be able to increase my plants per day by 1 plant more per day. So it doesn't matter what the number of plants that you have, you consistently want to increase the number of plants that you're producing per day. And the answer is 30. So if we take 0.033 times 30, we'll get essentially 1.99 rounded to 1. So every time you compound 30 plants, total. Doesn't have to be all at one time. You're going to increase the amount of plants that you produce every single day by 1. If you sow 60 plants, you're going to increase your plants per day by 2, and so on and so on. All right, so that's pretty useful, because as you're growing, as you're trying to grow this number here, it's useful to know how fast you can get to that magic number that you're trying to reach. Let's say I'm looking forward to reaching 3,000. So how long is it going to take for me to reach 3,000? I can do the calculations if I know how many plants per day I'm going to produce this week, next week, and the week after that. So that's useful information. Now, if you're just hearing about the drip garden, or you're looking to get into the drip garden, feel free to use my referral link, especially if you have found this video to be helpful. I'll leave that information in the description below. Now let's address some questions that I think are pretty pointless to ask, because these things are not static. They change all the time. They actually change every day. An example of that is this question here that people ask all the time. I hear it all the time, and I see it on the Telegram chat. The price of a plant. People are obsessed with the price of a plant. I don't understand why. The price of a plant is going to change. The way it was developed was so that new investors would have a fair chance, an equal opportunity to come into the garden and to build their garden just like the people before them came in. Now, the great thing about this garden is it doesn't give you a huge advantage if you have a quote-unquote head start. Someone could come in, purchase their plants, and continue to compound over and over and over again and build their garden just the same. So the price of plants is going to fluctuate. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, and it's going to go down. But people are so obsessed with the price of plants that they're forgetting the whole purpose of the garden. The purpose of the garden is to get as many plants as you can, to produce as many seeds as you can, to in turn help you to produce more plants. Now, of course, you can take these LPs and you can take your profit. Of course, take your profit when you're ready to harvest here and there. Of course, that's definitely essential. You want to take some profits, so harvest when you can and when you're ready and when you're able to, and when it's wise to. But the whole point of the garden is not to be consumed by the price of a plant, because it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's going to fluctuate. Now, if we look at this here, you can see that I'm producing $210 every single day just by compounding. This number is going to go up. It's down right now because the price of plants is down. It's only $5.70 right now. But just a few weeks ago, it was at about $10. And before that, it was at $15. All right, I've seen it as high as $20 for a plant. So this number is going to go up and it's going to go down. Don't get so concerned with this. Some people have seen this number drop from 15 and from 10 and from 9 and 8, and they get so panicked they start selling out their garden. That, in my opinion, is not a wise thing to do at all. If you've been in crypto for any amount of time, you know that volatility is just part of life. Those who stick it out are those who are going to benefit in the long run. Another question that people have all the time is the price of an LP. Now, this is similar. It's not going to fluctuate as much as the price of a plant, but the drip BUSD LP, the price is right here. It's $38.76, and this number is going to fluctuate as well, not as wildly as the price of a plant. However, it's going to go up and down. I've seen it at $45, $46. I've seen it at 42. I've seen it at 41. I've seen it at $36. So it's going to go up and down as well. This is something that is not written in stone. It just changed as I was talking. So that's something that we definitely don't want to chase, because you're going to make yourself go crazy. Being so concerned about the price of the LP and the price of the plant is going to make you go crazy. You have better things to do than to stare at the screen all day, I'm pretty sure. Another question that people ask is, what is the number of plants in an LP? This number is going to change. It's going to change every single day, all day long. The number of plants in an LP is going to be determined by the price of the LP, and that in turn affects the price of the plant. So the number of plants in an LP is going to go up and down. So don't chase those answers. Stick with what is really, really important. The number of seeds that you are producing, the number of plants that you have in your garden, and the amount of plants that you produce per day. That's what's important. So I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you're not gonna chase the wind. Stick to what works, be patient, and you will have a successful garden. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But as always, stay smart, stay in the black.